what it means to be happy. We're going to start in this place. Like, what is it? What do we need in order to be happy? And the first thing that starts to come up is a sense of connection. Like, all of us need to feel connected in the world in some way, shape, or form. All right. And the interesting thing about human beings is that we can disconnect from the world, right? More than any other creature out there, we have this capacity to time travel, meaning we can remember some aspect of who we are in the past, and we can also envision some version of ourselves in the future. And as we all know, we can also be incredibly discursive with our monkey minds, right? Where we're in situations that could be engaging us and we're just stuck in our heads, right? So the first core, what I call core human needs of being a human being, is the need for connection. And connection takes on a lot of different forms. It's first and foremost a connection with ourselves, connection with significant others or loved ones. It's a connection to our neighborhoods or the environment. It's a connection to the natural world. But at our core, we need a sense of connection. And I've seen a lot of that in the chat. Connection is one of that. And other things that are part of connection are love, communion, conversations, just a sense of fellowship, all sorts of different ways in that we can feel connected. So that's part one. Basically, the first core human need is our need to connect. The second core human need is our desire to contribute in some way, shape, or form. So, all of us don't just want to, we don't want to just be idle about our lives. We actually want to make our lives and our lives and other people's lives and make things better for people. We want to contribute in some way, shape, or form. And that way in which we contribute is very different for every person, because all of us have different talents and proclivities and things that sort of draw us in. And so that other aspect of that second aspect is basically our desire for contribution. And then the third aspect that we need, that all of us need as a core human need, is meaning. All of us need a sense of meaning on some way, shape, or form. And really, there's two aspects to meaning. The first aspect of meaning is that we want to have some sort of framework or cosmology or understanding or philosophy of our life that makes sense. Kind of, especially more than ever, we need to, in these very unique times that we're in, we want to have some way in which we can make sense of the world. Does that make sense? But the second act of meaning are those experiences that are beyond thought, that are beyond description, that are really kind of ineffable. Like, for example, for those of you who are parents, watching a child being born is one of those experiences that meaningful, but beyond anything you could describe. Sometimes you can find yourself in natural places and experience just the overwhelming sense of connectedness and beauty that's available in nature. And sometimes it can come from intense grief too, just where basically a thing that you thought, was true, suddenly something happens and you're like, oh, it's actually this thing over here. It's something. So those meaningful experiences are, those two types of meaning, basically the conceptual frameworks that we use to organize our lives. And then those experiences that are beyond words, that constitutes the third aspect. So again, connection, contribution, and meaning.